71 yesterday afternoon, 9 degrees above the average, high of 62, only 7 degrees off of the record. And yeah, we could be just as warm today. All those details coming up.
I'd like to see them use the ditch that's already back there and just widen it and deepen it.
Homeowners not too happy with the plans to improve flooding in South Bibb. What the Macon Water Authority says that they plan to do.
We want to close on the property if everything goes well, and we want to move into demolition of structure.
The city of Warner Robins is moving forward with the new city center. How soon you might see new attractions in the city.
Plus, some school districts in Central Georgia are getting a piece of a $15 million grant. We take you to one district to learn how they plan to spend the money coming up.
Good Tuesday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:30 a.m. here on this February the 7th. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Wanye Reese. This Tuesday morning, it's looking great on you, Central Georgia. And before you walk out the door, a jacket and a hat is going to look great on you as well because it's chilly out there, Alex.
By the noon hour, it's not going to be so much because we're going to be talking about temperatures almost doubling what they are now. 30s across Central Georgia this morning, 35 in Macon, 39 in Warner Robins, 36 over in Dublin and down in Perry, 37 the current number in Milledgeville. The coolest spot right now, Monticello, Jasper County, 34, hanging on to 35 in Bleckley County, 37 over in Johnson County and 37 in Gordon this morning. You compare this to this time yesterday, some 5 to 10 degrees colder across most of Central Georgia. Now, a few high clouds out there this morning. A few more clouds once you get into Tennessee, but you've got to go back into northwest Arkansas over towards Missouri and Oklahoma to find any rainfall. That is our next weather system getting its act together, but it's going to take a few days for it to get here. So 30s at the bus stop this morning. By the recess hour, though, you are not going to need the hat and jacket. 60 degrees outside, 72 for the ride home from work and school. So yes, another warm day. Average high is 62, going about 10 degrees above that. Sunrise is at 7:25. But coming up in a few minutes, I've got an even warmer forecast for Wednesday before rain arrives for the end of the week. All those details are just a few moments away.
Thank you, Alex. We'll talk to you soon. This morning, we have new information on a Baldwin County home invasion that left an 18-year-old dead. The GBI says all 4 suspects are now arrested. That includes 19-year-old Jarius Washington on felony murder charges in the shooting death of 18-year-old Saeed Javier. Earlier, they arrested 18-year-old Malik Smith and 2 underage teens. The GBI says last Thursday, 4 people traveled to Javier's home on Black Springs Road. Javier's family was at home at the time, but no one else was hurt. If you have any information, you should reach out to the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office. Their number, it's 478-445-5102. That number again for you, it's at the bottom of your screen. It's 478-445-5102. It's 6:33. New information in a deadly house fire that killed a 75-year-old man. Baldwin County's fire chief says the fire started after a kitchen grease fire. Joseph Dixon was at his Minor Road home when Baldwin Fire and Rescue arrived. Fire and Rescue Chief Victor Young says investigators believe Dixon fell asleep while cooking. He says fire crews arrived within 3 minutes and saw a lot of smoke, but no flames.
They went into what we call a search and rescue. Just make sure they searched the house, primary search. And upon searching the home, they found Mr. Dixon in the back room, I think in his bedroom area, probably in a closet from what I'm hearing.
Young says Dixon's body was sent to a GBI crime lab for an autopsy. We are certainly sending our prayers and condolences to the Dixon family. The Macon Water Authority thinks it may have a plan to help curb flooding in South Bibb County. Parts of that plan requires federal approval, and neighbors say they need more answers on that. The Water Authority has plans to install new drainage ditches. There's already a main drainage ditch in place, but the Water Authority says it's too flat and not wide enough. They say that they can't really widen it because it could be considered federal wetland. That answer is tied up now with the Army Corps of Engineers. In the meantime, the Water Authority proposed new ditches leading towards 2 large retention ponds. The new ditch would cut straight through Jan Crocker's yard, so she's asking them to move it back.
I'd like to see them use the ditch that's already back there and just widen it and deepen it, because literally they're building another ditch right beside it further into my yard, and that just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
The Macon Water Authority is waiting for the Army Corps to confirm the area is a federal wetland. If not, they may still have to clear it with the state. Fixing the neighborhood alone would cost the Water Authority $2.3 million. Today, Bo Dukes, the man facing charges in the death of Tara Grinstead, returns to court for a hearing. A lawyer for Dukes wants a judge to throw out those charges. Dukes is accused of helping his friend Ryan Duke burn Grinstead's body and bury it in a Van Hill County pecan grove. Grinstead, an Irwin County teacher and beauty queen, disappeared in October of 2005. In a motion filed last year, Bo Dukes' lawyer argued the statute of limitations has passed and it's too late to try Dukes. The hearing is at 9 a.m. in Ben Hill Superior Court. Of course, we will bring you the latest updates here on 13 WMAZ on air and also online. It's 6:35 on your Tuesday morning. Macon commissioners are tackling some big expenses today. They'll vote on paying $350,000 to settle a lawsuit by a woman who claims that she was hit by a county vehicle back in 2018. The draft settlement says a county employee allegedly hit Tashara Smith. The commission will consider a $237,000 agreement with a company. It's to purchase golf course maintenance equipment for the Baldwin Golf Course. They'll also consider a $236,000 reimbursable agreement with the FAA that would support removal and renovation of runway 5 at the Middle Georgia Regional Airport and $190,000 for homeless prevention services to be shared between two different agencies. Harsher gang sentences is on the agenda under the Gold Dome in Atlanta. A Kemp-backed bill is part of the governor's continued focus on fighting gangs. Georgia senators advanced a bill yesterday to add a mandatory 5 years to prison sentences for anyone convicted of a gang crime and 10 years for anyone convicted of recruiting minors into a gang. The bill cuts against a decade of state lawmakers reducing mandatory sentences or refusing to add new ones. The bill now moves to the full Senate for more debate. Lawmakers are also considering a bill that would cause law enforcement agencies to reopen cold cases. The GBI shows over 100 unsolved murder cases. The bill would give some families of victims a chance to possibly solve their loved ones' cases for closure. Lawmakers supporting the bill say that there are at least 500 unsolved homicide cases across the state. And a state Senate committee looks for the state to stop requiring a college degree for jobs unless it's needed. The Senate Government Oversight Committee approved the bill, sending it to the Senate for debate. The bill would reduce experience and educational requirements for jobs. If the bill passes both the houses and is signed into law, Georgia would join a number of states like Maryland and Colorado that do the same. Some say that this could help states in hiring, especially in the tight market that we are experiencing. Closer to home in Warner Robins, people look forward to the new city center that could be coming to town, right? Demolition for the project could start as soon as the end of the year. In August, the city entered into a sale agreement to buy 6 acres on Commercial Circle for the downtown development. Yesterday, City Council voted to inspect the land in the Commercial Circle area that may have some environmental concerns. Mayor LaRhonda Patrick says the area where they want to build the downtown is dated and it needs to be checked for asbestos and lead pollution. Surveyors will also check the soil and perform underground water tests. The city expects they'll have to fix some problems, but Mayor Patrick says they don't expect the findings to stop the city center project. Once they get through this phase, the city will be able to move on to the design process.
We want to close on the property if everything goes well, and we want to move into demolition of structures so we can start that process of doing a design of what our new downtown will look like and move forward from there.
The contract between the city and the consulting group did ask for the study to be complete by March the 10th, and it will cost the city over $26,000 to complete. People can look forward to upcoming events for public input on what they would like to see in their downtown in the near future. Well, the 57th annual Super Bowl kicks off this Sunday, and we know you want to watch it on a big screen. Coming up, tips on what TV could make your game picture perfect. Plus, more money is coming to Central Georgia schools. Next, we'll tell you how one school district plans to go ahead and use that money. The time is now 6:39 a.m. here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Alex, who are you rooting for when it comes to the Super Bowl?
You know, this year I really just don't care. So for the championship games, I wanted the Bengals and the 49ers to win, and neither of them won. So I'm like, if I had to choose, I think probably the Eagles. But I've been into Super Bowls a lot more before.
Yeah.
This year I'm just kind of like,
I understand.
Yeah, but you know, you could also use that new big TV to watch 13 WMAZ morning.
That's right.
As well. You get us in
love
high
that.
definition. All right, here we go. The live look over downtown. We do have temperatures on the cooler side of things. No secret about it. 35 in Macon, 39 in Warner Robins, 37 over in Gordon, 38 in Eatonton, 39 in Soperton, and 34 down in McRae. That is the cool spot this morning. But across the southeast, you are running into temperatures that, generally speaking, we are the exception here in central Georgia, are warmer than they should be for February. You got 49 in Monroe, 48 in Columbus, Mississippi, 47 over in Nashville. So here we are 12 degrees cooler than Nashville, Tennessee this morning, and 60 over in Dallas. And that air mass is sliding towards central Georgia, and we are going to be looking at overnight lows closer to these numbers out to the west before we know it. So let's talk about the details of it here. Into the morning hours, you're going to notice some high clouds out there. And in fact, I was looking in the 13 WMAZ Weather Network Facebook group just a minute ago. We had a fall streak happen in central Georgia yesterday. That was really cool. It looks like a hole punch in a cloud. Well, the conditions are going to be ripe for it again today. So if you see that, take a picture and send it to us because we always love to see it. And then into the afternoon hours we go. I do think several of us will actually break the 70-degree mark here, even though that's showing upper 60s. But then once we get to tomorrow morning, here's what I'm talking about. Overnight lows, only 50s and upper 40s across central Georgia. So some 15 to 20 degrees warmer across the area than we are this morning. And then that will translate into the afternoon of mid to upper 70s potentially. Would not surprise me if tomorrow afternoon we see an 80-degree temperature down to the south. Then comes Thursday. Notice the southerly wind is continuing. We're going to be looking at on and off showers through the day on Thursday. I think we'll probably see a little more in the way of coverage area of these showers than what the model's showing here. It'll be a little closer to looking like this that the GFS and the Euro are showing. But here we are Thursday at 5 p.m. We play this into Friday morning. Rain not moving all that much. Here we go into Friday afternoon. The Euro is trying to pull it away. You see the back edge right about there under the GFS for Friday evening. So the Euro gets out of here by Saturday morning. The GFS is saying not so fast. GFS keeping it around through Saturday afternoon and evening. So it is possible that we would be looking at a rainy Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you ask the GFS, the Euro is saying, yeah, maybe just Friday. So we'll watch the details on that. As things stand now, Thursday, a level 1 severe weather risk down to the south. This is as low as it gets, and it's centered down to the south of us. It just clips a few of our counties, so I am not all that concerned about. The thing to watch with this weather maker is going to be the rainfall. The Euro is saying 1 to 2 inches of rain down to the south, elsewhere about a ½ inch to an inch. The GFS is laughing at the Euro and saying, let's go 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches in a few spots. So we'll watch the details on that here in the days ahead. Today, 72. That's going to be the high. 75 tomorrow. And then once we get into the end of the week, we're going to be talking about a pretty good rain chance across central Georgia, maybe even mixing in a few storms on Friday before we go cooler, much cooler for the weekend.